Hello, I'm Jeff Patterson. This is Daniel Tran. Today we're going to look at a little mitt series that's good for starting to teach different variables and also seeking out the openings, looking for different targets, different vulnerabilities. Sometimes you're going to get different responses when somebody does something. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to spot those openings and how to see it. And then we're going to play a series on the mitts that's just kind of randomly feed those different openings. So the first thing that I want you to look at is when somebody throws a jab, there's different openings you're going to see. Sometimes they're going to jab and they're going to have this inside line open. Sometimes they're going to jab and they're going to drop this rear hand. And sometimes they're going to jab and they're going to kind of lean that head off to the side a little bit. And each one of those is going to present a different shot. So, for example, if I throw the jab here, he's following up with that down the center shot, okay? If I throw the jab, can you come over on this side, please? Over here. If I throw the jab here and I drop that hand, he's coming in with that hook. That's what I'm feeding him. If I throw the jab and I kind of lean off to the side, I'm open for that uppercut to come in. So the first section of this mitt drill that we're going to play is we're going to do everything off of the catch block. So, for example, when I feed him the jab, he's going to work that rear hand catch. And remember, when you're doing the rear hand catch, if you have somebody with a stiff jab, a common mistake I see is, could you feed me the jab? Is the jab comes in and they reach for it. And they try to meet that with enough force because they're worried about the hand coming back and hitting them in the head. When you're using that catch block, that hand shouldn't come more than a few inches from your head. You want to try to keep it nice and tight so you can get it back in case he fakes that and comes around with a left hook. So in order to have enough power in that hand to stop a good stiff jab, you got to use your hip and put power in that hand from your hip. So what he's going to do is he's going to catch that jab, and then now if he sees this mitt come straight back, that would be like me jabbing like this. If he sees the mitt come out here, it would be me jabbing with the hand down, and if he sees me come back with the mitt here, it'd be me jabbing with the head leaning inside. So from here, I feed the jab, and on this one I'm just going to come straight back, and he fires that 1-2 right down the center. The next one I feed the jab, he catches, and then he fires that 3-2 because I'm dropping my rear hand. Then I jab, comes back here with a 5-2 because I was leaning on that jab. So as we start playing this combo, this series, I'll kind of give him those fades and as I'm holding the mitts and catching the punches. Okay, so again, let's run through those one more time. So I feed this and 1-2. Good. That is the basic pattern. Now, as a mitt holder, I want to be training my boxer to have good covers and good technique when he's throwing punches. So a couple things that we're looking for on the jab. If say for example, let me take this hand off. I feed the jab and I throw the hand out, this is not a good cover, right? So I want to make sure that I've got my chin tucked and covered, my hand out. But one of the more common mistakes I see when people throw the jab, how they leave it open, they might have this part down okay, but when they recoil on the jab, they're either dropping the hand or maybe they keep the hand up well on the jab as they recoil, but they drop the shoulders too soon and then they bring the hand back. So in that kind of scenario, if I throw the jab and I've got a fast counter puncher and I drop my shoulder, I'm open for that time it takes me to bring that hand back. So when you deliver that jab, you want to make sure that I tuck and cover, I keep that shoulder up all the way until the hand comes back into position. Now, when he jabs, I'm looking to check him in a few different locations. So for example, come over here please. So he feeds the jab and I want to make sure that this is covered on the recoil, but I also want to make sure it's covered for the counter punch, so just leave it out. So if his shoulder is there, he's protected on that one. Another place I can check him on, he feeds a jab. I want to make sure that that elbow's coming back instead of coming back out here like this. He's too worried about the head. Another option, he feeds the jab. I can check that rear hand because a lot of times they'll feed the jab and that hand will drop down here on this side. So if he feeds the jab here, I can check him up on the backhand side. So as we're playing these, same thing with the right hand. I'm checking him with the right hand on the recoil, checking him with the right hand over the top, checking with the right hand to the body, and I'm checking with the right hand to that backhand. So you can check all those positions to fine tune him and make him sharp on these techniques as we're playing through this series. So now we go back to the pattern. He's going to catch, 1-2, catch, 3-2, catch, 5-2. Good. Now the next option. So I'm going to, from this progression, I catch and he does a 1-2. I'm going to come back quick and he's going to work on that recoil. Same thing. He does the catch and the 3-2. Tap. Catch and the 5-2. Tap. Now, after this tap, if I throw a left hook, again, a couple things can happen. I might throw the left hook and leave this down, which is open for the hook, right? Or I might throw the left hook and kind of lean into it, and this would be open for the straight hand right down the center. Yes. So he's going to have that option there. So after I hit him as a mid holder, I'm either going to give him this sign, and he's going to go 2-3-2, or I'm going to hit him here and give him this sign, and he's going to go 3-2-3. So now we've got quite a few variables going in, and when we start adding the mid holder checks, there's a lot of different options there as well. So we do again. So I feed him the jab, he does the 1-2, I come back and tap, and then I give him this option. That would be if I was dropping that rear hand, he comes in with a hook, straight hook. So I feed him the jab, 1-2 here, and I give him this option. And he follows up with a straight hook, straight. Good. So training like this, it's a simple progression. You're doing a 1-2, 3-2, 5-2, straight hook, straight hook, straight hook. They're all basic combos, but we're trying to fine tune them now and polish up the technique, but also train his responses. Start teaching him to see different openings, because a lot of times when you get in the heat of it and you're just kind of punching and really not seeing 100% of what's going on. But if you start trying to train for those little subtle openings on the mitts, it'll really help you when you get in the ring to play. Now, this is just an idea on this. We'll get into some other variations in a later video, but I wanted to break this out because I think it's a fun one to play. You can do this where you have your coach with the mitts, or you could do this with a training partner where you both have gloves on, and now we're playing that same pattern with all those same variations, but now we're checking each other with the counter punches and playing that different options that would come open when I was wearing gloves instead of mitts. And then instead of the mitts, instead of catching the punches if I had the gloves on, I'd be working my different defenses when he's throwing those punches. So it kind of adds another element to it there as well. So pretty fun drill to play. You can work on that, add some of the variables there. And again, we have more that we're going to add into this later. I'll show you in another video, but this you can use as kind of like the foundation for that next series that we'll come out with. So thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate your time. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel down below and keep your eyes open for new stuff coming out soon. Thanks a lot.